So I just wanted to do a quick video for you showing how to adjust the truss rod in your guitar neck. Adjusting the guitar neck's just really routine maintenance. It's not difficult to do, and it's not something to be fearful of. I see way too many people who are scared to adjust their neck, so they'll play a guitar with really high action, or on the other side of things, a guitar neck that'll buzz a lot. So I'm going to demonstrate how to check that adjustment and adjusting the neck on several of my guitars. And my hope is after watching this video, adjusting the neck won't be a scary, mysterious process for you. For some guitars, you adjust the truss rod at the top of the neck, and other guitars, you adjust it at the bottom of the neck. So I want to demonstrate on a few different guitars so that you can actually see it in the real world. So I'm going to start with my old G&L Legacy. I've had this guitar for 30 years. I bought it new in, I think, 1992. It's been a great guitar. And I'm starting with this one because you can see they sometimes call this the bullet style truss rod. So the truss rod adjustment thing sticks out of the top of the neck. It's really easy to get to. So you just take an Allen wrench and make sure that you're using the right size Allen wrench. For most Fender guitars, I think it's an 1/8 inch. For the G&L, it's 3/32. So I'm going to put it in here. All right, and then I'm going to change the camera angle so you can kind of see what's going on. Before I do, so if you're looking at the guitar, if I'm adjusting it from the top, and if I'm looking at it down this way, it's righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Okay, so loosening the truss rod makes the neck have a little bit of a bow this way. So you want a little bit of this bow because the string is vibrating in more or less like an ellipse kind of shape. So if the neck is too straight, the string will smack up against the frets. And if the neck is bowed with a back bow, where it's really sticking out this way, then you're really going to have a whole lot of buzzing. So what we want is a tiny, tiny bit of relief is the name of, is what they call that, the name of this type of bow. So we want a little bit of relief. And I'm going to show you how to measure that, how to adjust that. So yeah, let me change the camera angle here. So I went ahead and loosened the truss rod on this guitar so you could see what too much relief looks like. We're going to start there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the string as a straight edge to measure this. So I'm going to press at the first fret, and then with my picking hand, I'm going to press around here, around the 15th fret, and I'm just going to hold it down with my pinky and then reach my index finger over. And I want to look at around the 7th fret. So can you see? Let's see, let me get that camera angle right. See how there's a good bit of space there between the string and the fret. There's not a ton of space, but that looks like maybe the equivalent of like what a thick pick. This is a 1.5 millimeter pick, like a Fender extra heavy pick. So that's a pretty good bit of space. I'm going to pull the neck tighter just with my hand so you can see we're going for more of like a business card or so. So can you see the difference? There it's tighter, and then I'm going to loosen it. There's a lot more space right there. So I just righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So I'm going to turn this truss rod to the right. Just when you do this, go slow. Do it about maybe a quarter of a turn at the most. That's really important. Don't crank it up a full turn or anything like that. Just go really slowly at first. So I'm going a little bit fast because I know how much I loosened it up. But in general, you want to go just a little bit at a time. And if it feels like you're forcing it, stop. That's the most important thing. Like, it's really rare that truss rods break, but they do. I've seen it on a couple of guitars, but I've only seen it happen twice. And I've worked at a music store. I've taught lessons for 30 plus years. I've adjusted like hundreds of guitar necks. I've never broken one, but I've seen two that have been broken, one on a really cheap guitar and one on a nicer guitar, but it's really rare. But if you feel the truss rod resisting, if it's not turning, stop. Take it to a guitar repair person. All right, so now I'm going to check it again. And I might have gone a little bit, no, that's about right. So there's barely any space. So this guitar has a really nice fret job. So you can see how there's bounce there. There's a little bit of bounce. If the neck were too tight, it would look like this. The string would be up against the fret and you wouldn't hear a real click. Whereas if I'm doing this, you can hear the string bouncing on the fret. If your guitar has a nice fret job, you can get the neck really tight like this, and then your guitar will play as good as possible. So now let me switch guitars and show you another guitar. So most modern Fender style guitars will adjust the exact same way, except instead of there being a bullet sticking out of here, you have to stick the Allen wrench down in a hole right here. In vintage Fender style guitars, so whether either vintage guitars or reissue guitars, these are just reissue guitars, it's actually like a piece of wood that fits right in there. So there is no hole in there, but that's where, in modern guitars, that's where the truss rod adjustment would be. In vintage style guitars, this is the thing that I think Leo Fender got wrong in these designs. The truss rod adjustment is here at the heel of the neck. It's a pain in the butt. So you either have to take the entire neck off of the guitar, which is not cool. It's hard to do. You have to take the strings off, adjust it, put the strings back on, tune it up, and check to see if you got the adjustment right. Or you can buy this little tool. I think I got this from Stu Mac, which is a great guitar repair online store. And it can, you still have to take the pick guard off. It's still not an easy task, but you can use this instead of a screwdriver, and it can get in there and adjust the neck. And just to show you what this really looks like, on this guitar, my luthier cut away the pick guard right there so that, I don't know, still can't really see it, but it looks just like a Phillips head screwdriver screw that's in there. So you can just get in there and tighten it and loosen it. But again, it's righty-tighty, lefty-loosey as you're looking down at it like this. So just remember that. So if you're adjusting from the headstock area, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. If you are adjusting from the heel of the neck, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So some modern guitars have the truss rod adjustment here at the neck heel, but instead of having to take the neck off or take the pickguard off and use a special tool, there's a little rotating wheel here, and you can stick a, this isn't the right size, but you can stick an Allen wrench in the hole and turn it this way. That's really easy. That you see this on Music Man guitars. And some other modern companies use that style adjustment. Those are really easy and great to use. Okay, on Gibson style guitars, the adjustment is up here at the headstock, but it's underneath a little plastic plate. So when I say Gibson style, this is not a Gibson, this is an old Gretsch, but it adjusts the exact same way. And instead of using an Allen wrench or a screwdriver or this little tool that I showed you for the old school Fender style guitars, you'll use a nut driver. And this came with an old guitar that I bought. Oftentimes when you buy a Gibson style guitar, it'll come with this tool. So this is a nut driver and a Phillips head screwdriver to allow you to get this little plate off. So I'm going to take the plate off. Okay, so now I've got the plate off, and you can see this little nut right here. And that's what adjusts the neck. So I just put the nut driver on that. Again, you always want to make sure you have the right size for your particular guitar. And righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Okay, so this is my PRS, and it's got a good bit of play. Okay, so you can see here that there's a pretty good bit of distance between the string and the fret. And again, I'm pressing at the first fret with my index finger and my pinky here around the 15th fret. And if I look at the 7th fret, that's a pretty good bit of space right there. I mean, I want it to be more like the equivalent of that, like a business card that could get in there, or a Fender thin pick. And the better your fret job is, the tighter you can get. Like on this guitar, this has got an amazing fret job done by Nick over at NC Guitar Works, and I can get it really, really tight. So you can see there's barely any space there. So I'm going to tighten this thing up. And yeah, now see how there's barely any space there. I'm going to even go a little further. You wouldn't be able to do this on some guitars. Some guitars, If you get it this tight, you might get a little bit of fret buzz, but it's an easy thing to fix. All right, so now that's too tight. See, it's basically up against the fret, so I'm going to loosen it up a little bit. And yeah, that's looking just about right. There's barely any space there. That's ideal. Okay, so then the last thing I want to talk about was how to adjust it on an acoustic guitar. Now, I'm not going to show you on my guitar because it's a big pain in the butt because I have this pickup mounted here. But on most acoustic guitars, the truss rod adjustment is up inside there. It's really easy. Like if you look in the sound hole on most guitars, you could see it quite easily. On this guitar, I've got this pickup that's blocking it. Luckily, this is built by my friend Chris Capizzoli, and it's got a big thick neck on it. It's really stable. It's not going anywhere. Like I don't have to adjust it very often. Some guitar necks, maybe because the piece of wood is softer, I'm not totally sure, but some of the necks on my guitars have to be adjusted every few months. Others I don't touch for, a couple of years at a time. But on most acoustic guitars, it's inside there. On some guitars, like Taylor, notably, there's a plate up here, much like on Gibson style guitars where you have that little plate hiding the truss rod. So if your acoustic guitar has a plate up at the top of it, then it's going to adjust at the headstock. If it doesn't, then it's going to adjust inside the sound hole. So I hope that's helpful and that it makes adjusting your guitar neck not seem so mysterious and so scary. So don't be afraid to get in there and try it. Just remember, never force it. So that's it. And hopefully you get your guitar playing even better than it is now. And if you need help, go see a professional luthier.